Buckle up, Central Texas. It's that time of year again. The Lone Star Gridiron Network is proud to present the Central Texas Regional High School Football Podcast with your host, Mike Mahurin, at the mic. This is the time when the lights shine brighter, the crowds roar louder, and every game feels like a battle. Whether it's for a district title, a state championship, or simply to claim bragging rights for another year against the rival school across town. From Cisco to Madisonville, Three Rivers to Brady, and all teams from 6A Giants all the way down to 1A. Our Central Texas teams are gearing up to give it their all on the field for their fans. Just imagine the thrill of that first touchdown, the excitement of a game-winning play, and the camaraderie that brings our communities together. This isn't just a high school football podcast. This is the continuing story of Friday Night Lights in Texas. And whether you're cheering from the stands or tuning in from home, this season promises unforgettable moments and heart-pounding action. So grab your jerseys, paint your faces, and get ready to support your favorite Central Texas high school football teams. Let's make the 2024 Central Texas high school football season one for the history books. Stay tuned each week for the new report because we're going to bring you all the highlights, interviews, and behind-the-scenes stories right here. Get ready, Central Texas. High school football is back, and it's going to be bigger and better than ever. Let's go.
Hello there, Texas high school football fans. I'd like to welcome you all to the Lone Star Gridiron Network's 2024 Central Texas High School Football Podcast, hosted by yours truly, Mike Mahurin, on the microphone. I'll be your host this season as we travel together throughout Central Texas to bring you all the highlights of high school football, along with thoughts from some of the coaches of the teams in Central Texas. They're expected to do big things this year in their various districts, regions, and even potentially a state championship. We'll also be looking at some of the players in Central Texas that you're going to know by name on Saturdays in the future as they're being recruited by major colleges here in Texas and beyond. And there may even be some surprises along the way with special guest interviews that'll provide some different insights at this sport that we all love so much here in Central Texas. Before we get started, we can't do this show without our sponsors for the podcast this season, including our title sponsor for 2024, HAP Insurance Agency in College Station. HAP Insurance Agency is located in Central Texas, and they've been helping folks across the state of Texas for over 17 years now to find solutions for their individual and family's health insurance, Medicare, and small group benefits needs. And as open enrollment season begins again in October, you'll appreciate working with the HAP Insurance team to unravel the maze of decisions that have to be made each year as insurance carriers and programs that are administered by the federal government make their annual changes. Best of all, HAP Insurance Agency's services are always free to you. Now, let's review some of the games from last week's action. Starting with 6A action, the Austin Westlake Chaparrals faced the Prosper Eagles at Chaparral Stadium on August 29th and emerged victorious with a 35-14 win. Quarterback Jax Lefebvre was on fire all night with a couple of touchdown passes, and the Chaparrals defense, led by their standout linebacker, Elliott Shaper, who tallied 14 tackles and 3 sacks, constantly kept Prosper's offense off guard. Westlake for the win, 35-14 over Prosper. Ranked number 15 at the start, Prosper is now down to 25, while Westlake stays at number 4 in 6A. Next up in 6A action, number 8, Austin Lake Travis dominated Arlington Martin and took home a 52-12 road victory on Thursday night, the 29th. In District 29 action this past week, Cibolo Steel convincingly beat Liberty Hill in their home opener, 49-26. And last but not least in 6A action, Austin Vandergriff raised their season ranking from number 24 to number 19 with a convincing win over Dripping Springs, 31-14. In 5A Division I action, number 4 ranked College Station High School started their home opener with a big win over Klein Collins, 35-28. While their crosstown rivals, College Station A&M Consolidated, started their season with a win at Lake Belton, 33-21. And lastly, number 5 ranked in Division I, Smithson Valley, cruised to victory at San Antonio Roosevelt with a 45-0 shutout. Moving on to the 4A Division I games from last week, in District 4, San Antonio Davenport, number 6 ranked at the beginning of the season, had an easy time with San Antonio Veterans Memorial, winning 32-15 at home. Next up in District 13, Austin LBJ moved up one spot in the rankings from number 9 to number 8 with their convincing victory over San Antonio Sam Houston, 56-7. In 4A Division II action, Wimberley moved up 2 spots from number 5 to number 3 in the state rankings with their crushing win over Canyon Lake at home in their home opener last Friday. While in District 11, number 3 ranked Belleville dropped 1 spot to number 4 after losing to Salina, 30-49. And lastly, number 8, Waco La Vega, held serve at number 8 with a convincing win over Kennedale at 45-15. Well, by now I'm sure you're probably ready to hear a new voice, and frankly, I could use a quick water break as well. So we're going to share an interview from Coach Drew Sanders, the head coach of the 6A and 19th ranked statewide Vandergrift Vipers. And I gotta say, that's a pretty cool name. I'm gonna have to try and catch one of their games to see what their mascot wears. I'm sure it'd be interesting. This interview was held last week, and it was immediately following their win over Dripping Springs.
So, what did you learn about your team tonight?
Your team's ready.
Yeah, you're good.
You ready?
Yep.
You know, for me, you really never know about your team until you play, right? I think I know. I've coached a long time. This is year 27, so I felt like we'd have a good team. But you play against a team like Dripping Springs, and they're going to expose some serious problems. We got exposed at times tonight on certain things, but I was just so proud of the way we responded and our start. You could tell we were mentally prepared for performance tonight, and I couldn't be more impressed with my new offensive staff. Basically, our entire offensive staff is new except a couple of coaches, and so I was very pleased with how those 2 current coaches and the new coaches all work together to come up with just a great game plan. So yes, good start.
Miles Tedecki, you couldn't tell it was his first year starting. What can you say about his performance?
I was very impressed with Miles. I knew Miles would be like that. I mean, I knew he'd be calm. He's great in the pocket too. He's big, but he can move around too. He's very accurate. You saw that on, I don't know how many touchdowns he had, but he had several. Could have had a couple more, I think. So very impressed with him. His command of the offense, there's always going to be something, right? I mean, it's his first time ever, absolute sold-out stadium, and that's your first start, right? You got to have some nerves, and I'm sure he did, but he played through that.
I thought the front 7 on defense was tremendous. What did you see out of them?
Well, it starts with Deshaun Morgan, and it starts with Ian Witt. Those 2 guys are all state level players, and they're dominating people up front. And then my Mike linebacker, Adam Scott, he played so well all last year. He started multiple games, so he kind of came in also with a bunch of games under his belt, and he was real physical in the front too. And he's a wrestler, so you can kind of see that physicality. But I'm impressed with those 3. They kind of set the tone for everybody.
What can you say about your offensive line?
Well, they're all new, and so that was nice that they held up and did fairly well. Of course, we're going to make mistakes, but I was proud of them.
How beneficial is a game like this just to start out the year instead of playing somebody you beat like 52-0?
Well, when you play somebody really good, you find out could we be really good, and so that's the start, which is nice. But that's what I told the team, though. It's a nice start, but it's just a start. It's just 1 win, but we'll enjoy it tonight, and we who knows, we may face these guys in the playoffs too.
Hey, did you play Texas high school football? If you did, you're part of an elite group, the Brotherhood of Texas High School Football. All football players, past and present, who have ever suited up in the Lone Star State are eligible. Go to LoneStarGridiron.com/brotherhood. And thank you for the part you played in the greatest sport in the greatest state.
Now we'll move on to 3A results for the week. In District 12, the number 2 ranked Columbus Cardinals put up the high score for the week with a 65-24 win at Cuero, while Franklin, the number 3 team in the league, they had a points output, but they had a little bit closer margin against China Spring of 46-30. In District 13 action, number 4 ranked Hitchcock dropped 3 spots to number 7 this week with their loss by 1 point to Houston Legacy, 36-37. And in District 13 action, Lexington High School defeated Marlin 27-12 in their home opener. I wonder if they get free Snow's barbecue after the game for wins. What do you think? Would that be a good thing? In 2A Division I, number 1 ranked Ganado High School held on to their number 1 ranking this week with a hard-fought 33-26 victory over Van Vleck. While in Division II action, Mart held on to its number 4 state ranking despite losing by 42-8 to Whitney at home, while Bremond held its number 6 state ranking with a convincing win over Cairns, 30-13 at home. And that's going to wrap it up for the Central Texas High School Football podcast for this week. We'll be back again next week with more scores, interviews, and thoughts about high school football in Central Texas. Hope everybody has a wonderful week. Take care, and we'll see you soon.
Looking to boost your company's marketing? Look no further than Fresh MediaWorks. Podcasting is the best way to promote your brand and increase your customer base. You can create your own show, be a guest on other podcasts, or advertise on existing podcasts to reach a valuable audience. Don't wait. Start elevating your marketing game today with Fresh MediaWorks. Call now, 713-269-4620, or find us online at freshmediaworks.com/podcasting.